Hello guys, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja. We're going to be taking a look at some 1390 gameplay right now, and this is kind of like a counterpoint to my Centurion Mark I battle that I posted earlier. This is some light tank gameplay, and this is me trying to play as a scout. I'm not a very good light tank driver, and before we go into battle, we're going to talk a little bit about why I'm not a very good light tank driver, because I'm kind of a little bit self-centered, and I like to talk about myself. So, yeah, we're going to do that. So, we have my 1390 right here, and, I've got gun rammer and improved vents on it in order to improve the gunnery of the tank specifically, because even though this tank is a light tank, it's got phenomenal firepower. But I also have a binocular telescope on to increase my view range to better allow me to bush scout better, basically. Because I was a noob when I got this tank, my crew's training repair. Now, like, repair is not a bad thing to train on an AMX 1390, mostly in case you get your tracks damaged, but it definitely shouldn't be skill number one. Skill number one should be camouflage, like, no doubt about it. But since I'm at 95% repair, I'm just going to keep training repair until it gets to 100, and then I'm going to put 6 cents on the commander, and then, skill number 2 is going to be camo, and then camo. So we'll be working on camo, which we should have been working on from the beginning. But like I said, I was a noob when I got this thing, and I'm still not really very good at light tanks, so, I'm kind of working on it. You can see this is my garage with all the light tanks that I own in the game, and there's only 10 of them, and I don't really count the Crusader as a light tank because it's a tier 5 light tank. It's not like a super tier 5 light tank like the Chaffee or anything like that. In a lot of ways, I play it like a hybrid medium, and it doesn't get scout matchmaking, so a lot of the time you don't actually really play it that much like a scout tank. At least I don't. The T1 Cunningham, it's a tier 1. I mean, technically it's a light tank, but it basically isn't. The Panzer II, technically a light tank, but it's a tier 2. Same thing with the Panzer I. I mean, these are technically light tanks, but they basically aren't. The Panzer IIIA, technically it's a light tank, but it's a tier 3. Like, it's not really a light tank. The Panzer IC out of all of these is the one that's closest to a real light tank, but it's still kind of not really a light tank. So that really leaves these two here, the ELC and the 1390, as well as the Type 64 and the WZ-132. And out of those four, I really don't even count the ELC as a standard light tank because it's got such a unique gameplay style. So that basically means I only have 3 real light tanks. I've got the 1390, the Type 64, which I haven't played that much, but it's pretty fun and I do enjoy playing it. And I've got the WZ-132, which is really good and I really like a lot. So, I don't have a lot of light tanks and I'm not very experienced in them. So it's pretty easy to understand why I'm kind of a noob at them. Also, if we just kind of check statistically, I've played 14,807 battles since this game released. And out of that, only 1,128 are in light tanks. And that includes all the light tanks that are just filling out the bottom tiers of the game. So things like the AMX 38 and the AMX 40 are included in that. Those are definitely not light tanks, but they count towards the number of light tank battles you've played. So I've only played 1,128 light tank battles, as opposed to 4,500 in mediums, 5,200 in heavies, and 3,300 in TDs. So it's pretty easy to see why I'm not the most awesome light tank driver in NA. Also, if we look at specific light tanks, I've only played 67 battles in my 1390. That's not a lot. That is not a lot of battles in a 1390. I've only played 16 in the 132. I've only played, let's see, where's my 131? I only played 52 battles in the T71, and even though I knew that tank was amazing, I was such a terrible light tank driver when I was playing it that I hated every minute of it. I hated that thing because I sucked at it. The WZ-131, I liked that tank a lot, and I felt like I played pretty well in it, but I only played 14 or 43 battles. And those 43 battles right there, that's pretty much all of my real light tank experience, except for the about 10 that I've played in the Type 64, the few that I've played in the 132, and about 10 battles that I've played in the 1390. So, in terms of real amount of light tank driving experience, where I was like taking it seriously and actually trying to do my thing properly, I've really only played about maybe 70 battles in light tanks. So light tanks are definitely the part of the game that I'm trying to learn the most right now, and it's definitely the part of the game that I'm the worst at, other than artillery, because artillery is boring. I hate playing it. I'm a terrible artillery player. Oh man, I'm awful. I drive a GW Panther. I can't hit the broadside of a barn with that thing. Ugh, I'm so bad. But yeah. So we're going to take a look at this 1390 battle, and this is kind of the counterpoint to my Centurion Mark I battle, because in the Centurion Mark I was lighting up a lot of targets, and as soon as I lit them up, my team just schwacked them. Instantly, boom, dead. In this battle, I was sitting there scouting, doing my best anyway. Turns out I wasn't as effective as I thought, upon closer review of post-battle results. But in this battle, I was lighting stuff up, and just, nobody was shooting it. And as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So without further ado, let's adjourn to Sacred Valley, and let's put this 1390 into action. Alright guys, so we're loading into battle in the 1390. We are on Sacred Valley. We're in a tier 10 battle, only a couple of tier 10s per team, but they're pretty nasty tier 10s. An E100, a T110E5, and a VK7201K, which, in case you're not familiar with that tank, I'm not very familiar with it, but the VK7201K is the Tier 10 premium German heavy tank given to the winners of the Clan Wars Season 2. And it's got the gun of an E100 with a rear-mounted turret, and I think it's got stronger frontal armor, but worse side armor. I don't know how fast it is. I don't know if that worse side armor is true or if I'm just speaking out my butt, as the saying goes. But I looked at it a little bit in Tank Inspector, and it looks like a pretty nasty tank. And I've seen some people in them really crush dudes. So, right. Anyway, 1390. We are going to come up onto the hill and try to scout. We are trying to be the scout tank. I don't know this map very well for light tank gameplay, and why my over-target markers are bugged. I'm not fixing them. Too lazy. I don't know this map very well for light tank gameplay, and I don't really know how to attack as a light tank on this map very well, so I'm just going to try to play the scout role. And right there, we've spotted a Jagdtiger. At least, I thought I spotted that Jagdtiger. Turns out I think it was actually the Centurion. So, unfortunately, no credit from him. And right here, I'm backing off because I saw the trees fall on my left, and it turned out the enemy Type 61 and AMX 5120 were rolling up right into my face. As well as that, I know that Jagdtiger is almost there, and there's also an AT-15 coming, and I was alone except for a Centurion. So the Centurion bravely attacks. I wisely retreat. Now, the T110E3 behind me and the Mouse behind me and the T95 right next to me are all going over to defend that, and I wish them luck, but I am not going to help. 1390s do not sit there and trade fire with tier 9s, or 10s, or 8s. So I'm going to go do something else. And what I'm going to go do is I'm going to try to scout. But like I said, I don't know this map very well, so I'm kind of fumbling around looking for a bush. And I think I found one. I know there's some scout bushes around here somewhere that work pretty well, and I'm just going to try to plot myself down into this bush right here. And as we saw in the garage, I do not have sixth sense. But I can tell by the way that T-30's acting that he can't actually see me. I spotted the T-30, he did not swing his gun into line, that means I'm not spotted. Also, this T-71 right here, if I was spotted, he would have just started shooting me. So obviously I'm not spotted. But I am lighting up targets. I've lit up the T-30, I've lit up the T-71, and I've lit up the VK7201K. Unfortunately, nobody is shooting at any of the targets that I'm lighting. So that sucks. Alright, we're going to go into free camera to alleviate the twitching of me in fixed camera. So I'm just sitting here in my bush, trying to scout, holding my fire. I don't want to give away my position. I'm trying to call down artillery on the VK before he can get into position. Now at this point, even though I am not actually actively fighting in this battle, I have observed pretty much the entire battlefield. I know our deployment, and I now am one of the only people in the match that knows the enemy's entire deployment. And what I've realized is that the enemy has a lot of their force down in the south, in like H9, and they've only got about 3 tanks in C3 actually defending against our main force. So I start telling the north that they need to attack. Now right here, pardon me while I itch my nose, right here we can see this IS-3 lighting him up, totally in the open, trying to get fire called in on him, but nothing is happening. Much to my surprise, when I advised our guys in the north to actually start really pushing before the enemy can either break through our south flank or redeploy and defend, the north actually attacks. That never happens. Usually when you're like, guys, we need to attack, people just ignore you. But whether it was because I pointed it out to them or just because they all figured it out at the same time, our north flank, right when I suggested it, just surges forward and starts killing things. Now, as you can see, I'm very concerned with this IS-3 and T-71 breaking through into our backfield because we don't really have anything to stop them. And so I decide that I need to get into position to ambush the IS-3. Now, the IS-3 is not really that much of a threat to our mouse, but that doesn't mean I just want to let the IS-3 do his thing. So I roll up, and I fire through the wall, but it gets taken by the space armor. Second shot misses. Third shot sets the IS-3 on fire. Fourth shot penetrates, and right here, pause quickly, the IS-3 is so close to the mouse that the mouse actually can't depress his gun enough to get a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the detracking shot on the IS-3, and that way the mouse can back up and fire his gun effectively. So I zoom in, go for the detrack, get the IS-3's track off, and the mouse puts a huge hit onto him, and then I put my last shot into the IS-3 and kill him. Now at this point I'm reloading, and the T-71 is going up behind our T-95, and that's not good, because that T-71 can actually kill the T-95 pretty quickly. But I can't do anything about it, because I'm not reloaded. All I can do is ping the T-71 and hope somebody helps out the T-95. And happily, the mouse puts a 500 damage hit onto that T-71, and then the T-95 actually successfully defends himself, and the T-71 is killed. So, the battle's really going well in our favor. Our south side defense has crushed the enemy, and our north side attack has actually done really well too. So now, there's not that many tanks left to oppose me, so it's time for the 1390 to get in there and do something. I know that that T-30 is pretty much alone in their base, and that's a really, really good target for an AMX 1390. Big, slow-moving, slow turret against fast-moving autoloader. Potentially, I could rush in there and dump about 1,400 damage straight into that guy and then just run away. So that's what we're doing right there. There's the T-30 right there. He hasn't seen us. He hasn't seen us. He's seen us now, and he's turning. We put one into him, but his tracks eat it, and time to back off. I'm not getting shot by a T-30 for no reason. I'm content to let my friends kill him. But now that the T-30 is fired, I come up, put a shot into him, and he dies, and match over. So, you know, not the most riveting 1390 gameplay, not the most exciting 1390 gameplay, but for me, basically trying to learn how to use this thing effectively as a scout on a map that I'm not very good at, that was actually a pretty good result. So let's take a look at some post-battle results. Alright, so we have post-battle results right here, and as you can see, not an amazing double. 2,364 experience, which is not that good, and 30,081 credits. Again, not that good. Litany of Destruction, way less impressive than I hoped. During the battle, I thought that I did a lot more actual detecting than I did. I thought that I detected this guy. Nope. I thought that I detected this guy. Nope. I thought that I detected that Yag Tiger. Nope. I thought that I detected the Type 61. Nope. I thought that I detected the AMX 5120. Nope. I detected the AT-15, and nothing happened to him. I detected the VK, nothing happened to him. I detected the T-30 twice. The first time, nothing happened to him. The second time, nothing happened to him. The third time, when we were all killing him, 848 damage happened to him. So I actually detected him 3 times. It took 3 detections of that T-30 before he received any damage. So I got 848 detection damage for this T-30. And I also got, I'm not sure why it's not showing here, but I also got about 500 detection damage on the IS-3 for when I broke his track and that mouse shot him. That was definitely me. So, let's see, 200 damage here, 900 damage there. Not that amazing. I only did 1192 damage, and I only got 1308 detection and assistance damage. Not very good, especially since I spent the entire battle playing exclusively as a scout. But, the whole point of this video is counterpoint to the Centurion Mk I battle. In the Centurion Mk I battle, I was not trying to scout, I just happened to be detecting things, and when I detected them, my team obliterated them. In this battle, I was trying to scout, and other tanks with the same view range as me were lighting things up first, and nobody was shooting them anyway. So, like the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. I enjoyed playing this battle. I don't play my 1390 that much because when I got it, I was such a light tank noob that even though this tank is very, very strong, I play awful in it, and it's now, my mind now registers it as a tank that I do bad in, so I don't enjoy playing it, so I don't play it that much. I'm trying to get better at light tanks, and the 1390 is definitely one of the strongest light tanks in the game, and before I die, I want a bat chat. I am so far from a bat chat, though, it is not even funny. So maybe we'll see some more 1390 gameplay at some point, but who knows. Anyway, guys, until next time, this is Captain Dorja, and just remember, you can never have enough big guns.